Greetings, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Real Talk Show. I'm your host, Dr. India White. I am so excited about our phenomenal show today, guys. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. I hope that things are working out for you and your family. I'm trusting that all is going to work out. I am so excited because this week has been just a week of giving and charity and doing right unto others, and kind of like those Dharman videos where people go above and beyond and they show that they care for others and that they, do things out of the goodness of their heart, right? And so if you guys have never seen one of those, I'm going to try to show one of those in a minute. Before I get into that, I know some of you guys, you're brand new, so a little bit about the show. I'm going to let you know that the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White, it will be aired on the radio on SoulNet WKDH every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you will be able to watch or hear the replays of this show. In addition to that, the Real Talk Show will also be featured by Swain Girl Media Channel by Precious Swain on Fire Stick. So get with Precious if you're wanting more information on how to see the replays from there as well. Also, make sure you follow me, guys. I love when you guys follow me, and I do follow you back on social media. So I've got all of my different social medias featured here. I'm going to state what they are for the sake of the radio. So for Facebook, it's Miss India White. That's MSINDIA WHITE. For LinkedIn, it's The India White. For Twitter, it's Indie Speak and Teach. That's INDIS. P as in Paul, EAK, the letter N, and the word teach, all one word. Yes, Indie Speak and Teach. And then Instagram is Indie238. That's INDI238. And YouTube is India White 123. So check me out. We've had such an exciting week. Also, check out my new website, india.white or india-white.com. Check me out. And thank you to my phenomenal team that has been on that. Now, like I said, I am so excited to show you guys some clips. But if you've not heard of Dharman, if you've not seen good acting in a while or upcoming acting, I do have a phenomenal guest that's coming to us today. That is an actor. Not only that, he is a business owner, and he has also served our country as a Marine, a very noble, honorable person who I'm very honored to have on this platform. And so with that said, I'm going to bring on to you today an official rock star, Zack Zindler, to the show. Hey, Zack, how are you?
Hey, India, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. It's so good to see you.
What an intro. Wow.
So, well, you're very impressive. You've done a lot. You have gone above and beyond to serve your country, not only literally serving, in the Marines, but also just in your services to us. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for your contributions to society. And so tell us a little bit, Zack, about yourself.
Well, I was born in Boston, and I pretty much moved around everywhere in the United States. Went down to Florida for high school, and then from there went over to California, and then from California to South Dakota. And South Dakota, that's where I joined the Marine Corps from. And I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, and then also in North Carolina. Okay. And so that was kind of just the beginning of my whole journey, was just getting the military, atmosphere and the perspective and all that. It was just the beginning of me really seeing what I could, do to contribute and what maybe my purpose might be. So, yeah. And then from there, I went to school and I studied athletic training. And that also was my next phase of learning how, the body worked and how, you could fix it and all the different things that we could do to help ourselves. And then after that, I went down to Florida and ended up working in a physical therapy office and under one of the most amazing doctors. I mean, this guy, he was born in Hong Kong and he went to school in Hong Kong, and that's where he was able to, he got his basis for medicine from there. And then he came over here to Florida. So he incorporated Eastern medicine with Western medicine.
Oh, wow.
And being able to learn from that type of perspective really just, it just opened up my eyes in a whole different way than I ever, kind of saw things before. Because they don't just focus on our problems or our complaints. What they do is they get to the root of the problem in Eastern medicine, and they really just try and fix us from the inside out instead of from the outside in.
That's interesting. So is it more like they deal with all the heart things and kind of like all of the different Dharma clips, all those issues that then lead to other, issues within the body, kind of?
The best way to put it is they start from the center and work their way out.
Okay.
And I mean, for us, that's our our spine, our brain stem, all our nerves and stuff. But they also work with our senses. I mean, they work with our sense of smell, which is connected to so many different parts of our body. They do different types of pressure in different parts of the body because, even you've seen it, people that work on feet and hands, they're connected to different parts of our body. And, we're able to heal ourselves, not just focusing on that specific area. So, I mean, it was just, I'm just so grateful for that type of opportunity to be exposed to that type of, medicine. And
Phenomenal.
it was, even living in Japan, it still was different learning from an actual doctor. And then from there, I ended up deciding to go out to LA and try acting. So
your life is so creative. Talk to us about what entered into your mind that said, time for LA.
Ooh, good question. Pretty much the way I view life is I want to know a little about a lot. Because once I get into something, I end up I go all into it, and I really, engulf myself in that, whatever it is I do. Right. And once I was able to, kind of get an idea of, okay, well, I've done the military, I've done the school, I've done the clinical setting, I've done all these. I was also a security officer. And then I was just like, okay, well, I want to do something that would really impact a large group of people. And, when I got into acting, it was like, okay, well, this is something where all my hard work, I could look 60 years from now and be able to see the results of all that hard work. It wouldn't just be, kind of washed away with, once that patient or client or individual leaves, you never see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so I have a question for you regarding like all of these different Dharma clips and all this. And I wish I could show one. I'm going to try to show one. I pray it does not glitch on me, y'all. I'm going to try to show one because I feel like you've dealt with a lot of heart issues. And before I try to show this, like with all of your experiences, do you think that was kind of working on your heart as well? Like, and do you think that was what was able to help you play the roles so well, especially in the ones like, before you ignore someone and things like that? Like, so what do you think attributed to you being able to really go into acting and be so successful? Because I don't know if you acted growing up or, if those are just your first wings at it. So talk to us a little bit about that.
I mean, that's a great reference. I mean, for me, the way I viewed acting was I'd done it in real life. So I would just act the same way that I did it in real life. And what I learned is that, people go to these schools and what they're taught is how they would react if they were in that situation. And my benefit was I was actually in those situations. So it gave me a perspective of like, okay, well, just act the same way that I would if I was doing it my way. And then the Dhar Man experience was actually my very first gig in Los Angeles. It was the very first one I ever did, my first acting job ever.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. You did fantastic. I mean, it's, you don't understand. I got to stop you real quick because I took acting at University of Florida, and I thought I was good. I wasn't that good. I didn't get good until I was frustrated or had a really bad day. Then I could act like, woo, like right on the spot. Like in my classmates were like, oh my gosh, India, like what happened? And I was like, I didn't practice. Life happened. So then I was great. So I think it's funny how you're saying this because it kind of lined up to my own experience of the one time that I did act really well. It wasn't what they taught me. It was what I had experienced. And so talk to me about the peer pressure that you might have faced or the, just the anxiety you might have had towards being like, well, I mean, this is my first gig. I'm new to LA. You've got people out here that have been in acting school for years, taking lessons, and I'm going up against the grain, and yet you get the gig. So tell us about that whole journey, that whole process.
It was actually really funny because my whole perspective was, well, I've been in the Marine Corps, so nothing else is going to be harder than that.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anxiety. It was more of like earnest or angst and just, biting at the bit, wanting to get into it. And the best part about it was, I lucked out. I got I did two Darman little videos, and both of them were based around kindness. And I truly pride myself on being an authentic, kind person. So I was able to it just kind of reflected out there. And it was my first gig, which made me feel so much more confident that, I came in LA to make an impact on a larger group of people. And this is what I get on my first gig. I get to be kind. I get to show people that being giving can affect other people. And I mean, it was just a very, humbling experience to get that type of, that opportunity. Right. Yeah.
And so how did your support system react when they saw these Darman clips and they saw that it was you were the main actor? Like, I mean, did they like freak out? Like, what was that response?
Yeah. Well, I had actually never really heard of Darman before. So I went into all of this, completely just naive on the whole situation. I didn't even know the gravity of what I was doing.
Right.
And now later on, I'm seeing like, oh my goodness, like this guy is really the number one inspirational video creator in the whole world. And my mother was really, I have a very good support system, and they really they just want to encourage me and whatever, no matter what different avenue I want to take or different thing I do, make sure that I do a good job and I work as hard as I can. Excellent. And once they were able to, once they saw that, things were going and playing and falling in place, I mean, they were just, okay, well, that's a great job. But are you doing it to the best of your ability? And that's really what I just really, I just latched on to that, and it helps. As long as you know that you're doing the best that you can in anything that it is that you're doing, everything else falls in line. But you just have to make sure that inside yourself that you're trying your hardest.
Wow. And I love that because sometimes people feel like they have to almost emulate somebody that they're not. The one thing that impresses me about this, people go into acting thinking they have to come out like Brad Pitt or Denzel Washington, but I never heard you say, I wanted to emulate Denzel or I wanted to emulate Brad, but it was just, you wanted to be yourself and you wanted to be authentic and you did the best that you could. And now people are wanting to emulate you because you did the role right. And you weren't trying to be a carbon copy of someone else. I'm going to see, guys, if I can play this clip or not. And if I can, then we're going to see this. So I'm going to share the audio. All right. Can you guys see this? Can you see this or no?
I can see it.
So you can see the clip? Awesome. There you go.
That's me.
How did it feel when you saw this play out?
Awkward.
Yeah.
Really awkward. I critique myself very. I'm my biggest critic. So
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that. But now,
Right.
seeing it later on, I'm just more appreciative that this is,
Right.
a product of the work.
I just love it because it's real, and people go through this. People really do. They really do go through this.
Yeah. And I'm just, I can just appreciate, what this means and the meaning
Yeah.
behind it and the message.
So I just think this is powerful, though, and the thing I love about it is so many of us have had these emotions,
Mm-hmm.
But the kindness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only so much acting you could do. You have to really have it within you, and I think that's what you're showing here. I love this part. I love this.
Yeah. It's just bringing me all back. Yeah, like having flashbacks about the whole experience.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this was powerful. Yeah. So if you guys have never seen Darman clips, you definitely need to check them out. And I'm going to stop the clip really quick and just, again, just say thank you so much for, for what you have contributed already. That was just a little bit of your acting, and I just think it's just fantastic all that you have been able to really, attribute to society with your acting and everything else. And so let me exit out of full screen and get out of the clip because I think I have a comment. Oh, I have a comment. So talk to us then about this whole, I guess, your whole perspective then on, I guess, the big picture of what you learned from even being in those clips, and another thing, why you think you were chosen out of all people.
So, I actually auditioned for the homeless man role.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you're going to be the main character. And it was, a very profound thing for me.
Wow.
Because I had no clue what I was getting into. And, well, it's just really crazy because when I went to LA, I started a food blog and I would go around trying different food. But what I really made it a point to do is all the food that I didn't finish, I made it a point to give my food to a homeless person every single time I wasn't able to finish it. And I was doing that before I even did this clip. So to get a chance to have that kind of, roll over into the actual footage where I get to help someone who is homeless, it was very, profound for me because that was kind of who I was. I don't necessarily want to give them money. I'd rather give them food where I would try and, I would enjoy a nice meal, but then if I couldn't finish it, I didn't want to be greedy, and I wanted to find a way that I could be a selfless, do a selfless act towards someone else, and I would give them my food. And, so to be able to do that in the little clip that we filmed, it was just, I felt that it was really the best representation of who I was and who I am, kind of.
And I know, what did you feel like when it got over 1 million views?
So I had been in a couple music videos, and the music videos had like a couple million, but then I had no clue about, because I had filmed this, but it hadn't come out really and took off. and then it got like 10 million and 20 million and 30 million and
Mhm.
then 40
Mhm.
million. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
so it was definitely, I mean, I will give 100% credit to Darman because he
Right.
has that, circuit. He already has that, that network already in there. So a lot of his videos get those millions. But for me to be a part of that, I wasn't really prepared for, it was almost unrealistic. Like I was in a fantasy, like, oh, just 30 million people watch this, but you sit down and think about it. You're like 30 million people, 40 million people. And that's just one video. I mean, it's like,
Right.
wow.
There
And
were a couple that had, several million. So,
yeah.
And so I know your mindset, it had to have changed your whole perspective of life. And I'm sure the role that you've played now in the acting world and the opportunities that await you. And so, I don't know if you have any other things up your sleeve that you're thinking about doing as well in the role of acting. Maybe you could share out with us and we can celebrate or look out for something, or not
Well,
sure what you're wanting to do there.
I've already done, like I was featured on the Steve Harvey TV show.
Okay.
I was on a segment. It was a dating segment, and there was a couple bachelors, and I'm not going to ruin the ending, but it was a very good segment on the Steve Harvey TV show. But that was one of the more recognizable things that I had ever seen, because I never heard of Darman, so it wasn't really impactful for me. But Steve Harvey's show was really,
right.
That was a big deal for me. And then the movies that I was in, they still haven't come out yet, so I was only in a couple of them. But I got a chance to do so many things, India. I mean, I was in a Russian wedding where I was a dancer. I was dancing, and that had nothing to do with movies and acting or anything. I was actually with professional dancers dancing Russian and Ukrainian dances.
Uh-huh.
So it was my first time I ever got dance shoes in my whole life. So the best way I can put it is I never turned down an opportunity.
Right.
No matter what it was. I see a challenge and I take it.
Yeah, and it seems like opportunities await you. Like they just find you. And I don't know what the spark is of that. For those that are out there in the acting world, I know of so many people that have moved everything and they've moved ship to New York or moved ship to LA, like, kind of like what you've done, but they've not been as lucky or as fortunate or as blessed. So, but the thing that gets me here is it's not that you're pushing yourself on anybody. These things keep coming to you. And so it's almost like you just position yourself in an atmosphere, and then it's like, come what may, and it happens for you. And so I just think this is very awesome that you have had so much success with these things. And so do you have any words for any future actors out there or anyone really striving to make it, in the spotlight?
The best advice I could give is, one, don't be shy. Go up and introduce yourself to absolutely everyone on the set. Every time I got on set, I made it a point to shake the hand of every single person on set, the makeup people, the costume people, the lighting people, the people, not necessarily the director and producers, but the assistants. I introduced myself. I looked them in the eye. I said, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Zack. And what that does is it allows you to make an impact on everyone around you. And I've had multiple instances where I was supposed to be in the background. And because of that type of interaction, they actually upgraded me to a more important, inclusive role. And that'd be the best thing I'd say is, one, don't be scared. If you think that you're going to fail, it shows on the camera. Anything that you think about shows up on the camera because the camera doesn't lie.
Wow. So I saw a movie clip where you shot somebody. What is the name of that clip? You shot somebody. It was really good acting, and I was just like, Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting it. What was the name of that clip so we can go back and watch that?
That was a movie. That was for a movie that never got released. So
Okay.
the one thing about LA is that there's a dime a dozen filmmakers. So that specific one was just a clip from the movie, but the movie never really got produced and released. But that was so for me being a weapons instructor, I was very proficient in weapons and knowing how to use them. And I can catch on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to show, the quickness of a draw and also the intimidation factor. So the big thing is I don't want to limit myself to being just a certain type of actor. I don't want to be, just a nice actor. I don't want to be just a mad actor or angry, or I want to be able to do everything. And I want to be as versatile as possible. So whenever I got a chance to really, hone in on my previous training, I mean, I took that and ran with it. And yeah.
And so, but now you've done so much. You are proficient in so many things. So now you also have things that you're doing here in the Tampa area with your business.
Yeah.
So how did you transition into this role now? So there's so much. So talk to us, Zach, about this transition and what you're doing now with the work in Tampa.
So I started I'm a partner with a manufacturer in North Carolina, and I started a company called Native Ceuticals Tampa, our business. And what they do is it's all 100% hemp derived product.
Okay.
So what was happening for me is because I'm a 100% disabled veteran, I was going to the VA for a lot of my care, and they were giving me so many different prescriptions. It got to the point, India, where I was getting 120 pills a month. And I started kind of really losing my mental state.
Yeah.
And before I was going down that dark path, I ended up, another coincidence, I stumbled upon a festival that was a cannabis festival. Now I went there, and I just so happened to be driving past a billboard, and it was the day before this festival. So when I drove back, the festival started at 10:30. The festival started at 10. I ended up getting there at 10:30. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just stop by and just check it out. So what I did is I walked around, and I ended up meeting this manufacturer there. And the manufacturer kind of planted a seed, because they provided a lot more than what I had been exposed to in California.
Right.
So once I was able to understand, there's a lot more benefits than just what I kind of was taught about, just the stigma that's been tossed around. So I went up to North Carolina, and I actually did training with this manufacturer. And then when I came down, now I'm the affiliate for the Tampa region and the majority of Florida, where I'm able to travel and do business and events. And because of me being introduced to these people, I was able to incorporate alternatives to the prescriptions that I was taking from the VA. And it got to a point where I was able to wean off, and now I don't take any more of those pills that I was taking from the VA. And I'm 100% on a organic, natural substance.
Wow.
And it's really just completely changed my life. I mean, there's so much that can get lost. You feel like you lose yourself. You feel like you lose your interpersonal skills. You feel like you lose any type of positivity you have in your life. It's just, everything's a dark black hole. And it was able to put a light in the middle of that hole, and I just kept going into it. And then now I was provided an opportunity to where this was able to be incorporated into a business. And now that I have it as a business, I've been able to go out, and I've been, like I said, if you're going to do something, do it right and do it hard. So I went out and I started going to as many different events as I could. And the ultimate goal was my testimonial would help other people understand that there's other things out there that can be beneficial to your body, and it won't. There's not the negative side effects because our bodies are able to metabolize it.
So talk to us about the breaking the stereotypes and the stigma of hemp, because I know when I hear of it, I can envision in my mind someone lighting it up. You know what I mean? And so how did you go from, okay, this is not going to be like just this big old light fest where we're just getting high, but that there are actual wonderful professional benefits that come to this, like whether it's hemp oils or things like that. And maybe talk to us about like the different forms of hemp that can really help people, you know, to alleviate their pain and stress and things like that. And for those that don't want to smoke out, you know, talk to us about the benefit of getting on something like that versus a prescription drug from their doctors and what you know in that field. Yeah.
So what this company was able to provide as a manufacturer was they have more than just CBD, because CBD is kind of just the baseline of what everybody knows about. They know about THC, CBD. Well, there's over 200 different cannabinoids in the cannabis plant. And from hemp, they were able to derive CBG, which helps with mental clarity, brain fog, and focus issues, and also helps regulating appetite. And then there's CBN, which helps with sleep issues. So it helps you wind down at night, helps you stay asleep, and then you hit REM sleep. So you're able to wake up a lot more refreshed, and it helps a lot with memory issues. So when I was able to learn what other types of benefits are out there, the way I was able to incorporate it, well, I was taking Adderall to help with my focus issues. Well, I started incorporating CBG, and it completely gave me all the benefits of the Adderall, but no irritability, no anxiety, no heart rate, and no negative side effect with that. And it really just helped me promote natural stimulation of the body. And
so is that what form does that come in? Is it come in you know, do you have to take a pill? Do you have to you know, I don't, what's the forms that people can?
So you can, what we do, the majority of what we do isn't necessarily flour. So we have I have the capability of providing flour, but that's very minute to what we actually, the whole purpose is. So we do a lot of tincture. We do a lot of topicals we have topicals that are CBD infused with menthol. So it gives you like an icy hot effect, but then the CBD will actually prolong the effect of that icy hot relief. And then we also have salves that have lidocaine. And so you'll get the benefit of the lidocaine, kind of like Aspercreme, but then the CBD will extend that benefit over a longer period of time. So you won't have to keep applying over and over and over again.
Right.
So the CBG, we actually have it in the tincture form, but we also have it in a pill form. And the pill is what I would take, and it would give me this. It plays into what the addiction aspect of prescriptions are. So you get addicted to just taking a pill, and it becomes such a habit that you don't necessarily feel the benefit, but you feel like because you took the pill, this is going to help me. So when I was able to, replace that with something that was more natural, a lot more soluble in the body, then I started getting those same benefits that I would, or the same type of feeling I would get when I just took a pill. It's like, okay, well, I took my pill, I'm okay now. And I mean, it just really played into, it hit different tones for me. I was able to complete everything that I was looking to try and complete, but I was also I didn't get that irritability or the wake up and feeling like your brain is overstimulated. And I'm even able to incorporate gummies. So we have CBD gummies and also gummies infused with elderberry. So you get the antioxidant effect and the immune effect of elderberry, but you also have the benefits of the CBD in there as well.
And what are some success stories or some testimonials that you have from this? Just for the audience, those that are, they're still kind of on the fence, or they're like, oh, this sounds good, but I need to hear the benefits of how it's worked for others as well.
So I have there was a woman that's a coworker with my mother. And for me, it's kind of hard to wrap my head around this because when I went to school for medicine, I kind of have a really good idea on how the body works. But she said for 30 years, she was getting 2 hours of sleep. Now, for me, that was almost incomprehensible. Like, okay, well, how are you alive? But this is what her testimonial is. And so she started taking my highest dosage that I have of CBN. And for the best way I can describe the body is, or the CB receptors is, it's a gas tank. So you need to fill up your gas tank. And then once it's full, you can top it off. So once it's full, you get the effect. And then once you start, taking it daily, you'll topping it off and getting the effect. So after about 5 days, she didn't feel anything. She was still getting 2 hours of sleep. She was taking the CBN tincture under the tongue. And the 6th day happened. And my mom came up to me and she says that this woman ended up getting 7 hours of sleep that night. And then the next day, she ended up getting 5 hours. The day after that, she ended up getting 7 hours of sleep again.
Wow.
So for me, the quality of life for a person that gets 2 hours of sleep to go into 7 hours of sleep it's a complete, paradigm shift. You're able to function. You have energy. You're able to remember things because the less amount of sleep that we get, the more susceptible we are to dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right. It does affect your status of how long you live as well, of the less sleep. And I know people have that grind, no sleep, just grind kind of.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea. So I think this is excellent that the CBN is really helping people. And so there was a CBN, and then you said there was a
CBG. And I have a really good testimony on that one as well.
The CBG, go ahead and talk to us about the CBG.
So we actually have formulated a salve, which is a topical hard cream with CBG. And the purpose of it is to help with skin issues. So rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, and then there's even cancer killing properties in the CBG. So the testimonial is my father. My father has skin cancer. So I gave him this salve and he started putting it on all the spots on his head and his arms that he was having growths. Well, after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, he ended up going to the doctor. And then when he went to the doctor for the first time, the doctor did not cut something off of his head or his arms.
Wow. That's powerful.
So
yes,
there's a lot that, and that's that's as close to home as you can get.
Yeah.
For a testimonial, and for someone who has repeating effects of cancer, for them to not have to worry about going to the doctor and getting bad news, I think that changes everything, because there's so much anxiety with the doctor that people don't like to go to doctors because they hate to hear bad news.
Yeah.
And for me imagine going to the doctor and getting good news. If anything, that's going to uplift you. That's going to encourage you. You're going to feel that you're doing things right in your life instead of always feeling like a failure, or you're broken, or you're wearing down and everything in your life is just crumbling. Right. You're actually building up a foundation. And then from there, you can branch out and not have that anxiety or stress to do things, because you know that you're taken care of.
Right. And so how can someone get started with these various products? Where can they go? Do you have on your website or?
So I don't, because I've just started this business and I'm doing it from the ground up. I mean, it's just me right now. And that's where the grind is happening. But you can go online at nativeceuticals.com/Tampa, and it will take you to my personal hyperlink for the company or for the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can go and check out the products. There's 3 bars on the top of that page, and you click it and you can choose topicals, ingestibles, tinctures, and we even have a pet line, a pet product line. We do CBD bites for animals. There's dogs on the package, and it's peanut butter pumpkin, but it is an animal product. And then we do pet tinctures that you can incorporate in the food or in the mouth of the animal. And I actually, another testimonial, I was just at an event in Zephyr Hills, Florida, and one of the people that came up to my vendor's tent, their dog, so I have a dog bowl out front. The dog, the back hind legs were on top of each other, and then the legs were shaking. Aww. So the owners were just, this was kind of a very common thing for that animal, and they ended up giving the animal a dog, one of the CBD dog bites. And so I continued my whole, talking with customers, trying to get out and network. And 20 minutes later, they ended up coming back. And this is on the 4th of July. So it was just a couple of days ago.
Right.
So they ended up coming back 20 minutes later and they said, we just want to come back and let you know that our dog's legs have stopped shaking and the dog had the biggest smile on its face. And they said, you have a customer in us because this is the first time that we've ever seen this type of relief in this short amount of time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yay. Yeah. I love that.
So very encouraging. I mean, just to be able to, I physically witnessed the bad, and then I physically witnessed the good. And it was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was impactful, especially to see the smile on the dog's face was just, it was incredible.
Oh, and so you guys can go to nativeceuticals.com/Tampa.
Yep.
Or / is that a backslash?
That's a backslash.
Sorry, maybe I need some CBD oil.
Yeah. We all need it. So I don't know if you knew this, but we all have an endocannabinoid system in our body.
Oh, wow.
And that system, even if you don't take any cannabis product, they can test your blood and you will have trace amounts of endocannabinoids in it because that's what our body naturally produces. And then that endocannabinoid system is actually integrated in the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and our gut and immune system, G.I.T.
Wow.
So it helps with pancreatic issues. It helps with gastritis. It helps with liver issues. It helps with gallbladder issues. It helps with metabolism issues. It also helps with neuropathy and neurological issues. So because it's integrated in so many different parts of our body, it's really, when we take it, we're able to get so much benefit because our body is able to circulate properly. Our lymph is able to drain out any toxins. Our blood circulation is actually, it helps with clotting of the arteries. So you're getting more of that fatty tissue getting broken up. And there's also a lot of help with respiratory issues. So there was a recent study where CBD was found to actually help people recover from COVID-19 respiratory issues. And
wow, what form of that CBD? So CBD helps with COVID
respiratory issue recovery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it actually helps coat the alveoli in the lungs and allows them to somewhat repair themselves without being interfered with external cells or toxins or cancers and stuff like that.
Right.
And the big thing is that CBD comes in multiple forms. So a lot of people, when they buy it, they don't necessarily know how to classify it or to kind of pinpoint what's what on the shelf. So there's 3 types of CBD. There is a full spectrum CBD, and that incorporates the entire benefit of the hemp plant. So there are less than 0.3% THC when you get a full spectrum tincture or product, but you don't get any psychoactive effect because it's just a trace amount. But what you do get, because THC actually has medicinal purposes, benefits, you get an entourage effect where you're able to kind of target certain things in the body from different angles. It's not just a one-way street. And for those of us that are kind of skeptical on the whole THC thing, because you hear THC, you automatically think of a negative thought or refer it to something that's negative. There's also something called broad spectrum or multi-spectrum CBD. And what that is it's actually THC free. And you are able to take out the THC, so you're not getting 100% benefit of the hemp plant, but you get a majority broad benefit of that hemp plant. So it can help treat you without giving you that anxiety that, oh, I might pop on a test, I might have this affect me in a negative way. And the third part is CBD isolate. So what they do is they extract everything out of the plant except for the CBD cannabinoid. And this is a very clean way of taking CBD, but you're not getting the entourage effect with the other benefits of the terpenes and the flavonoids of the actual hemp plant. So going into terpenes, terpenes are actually the building blocks for essential oils.
Oh,
so essential oils, a lot of essential oils have the same chemicals and molecules as terpenes, because they're the building blocks for it. So if you take essential oils and you use a diffuser or you use it topically, you're trying to help the olfactory system in our nose help alleviate all of our pains in our bodies. Well, that's the same effect with a full spectrum and multi-spectrum CBD, is you're getting that essential oil benefit mixed in with the CBD chemical. So it gives you a lot more variety in order to help treat any type of symptom that you're having.
So is it more like a powerful, like a more potent way of, infusing CBD into your body or into your atmosphere, the CBD isolate?
Well, yes, but you're only getting one benefit. So it's almost as if you go from taking a multivitamin to only taking an iron pill. So the iron is going to help you deal with certain issues in the body, but a multivitamin is going to help you with a multitude of different issues. And it's more beneficial to take a multivitamin because you're getting other things supplemented as opposed to just taking care of one.
Right. Now, I know you gave us your website, but I know some people are going to want to call you or email you about certain specifics. I mean, especially with COVID respiratory issues, or maybe their dog is having a problem, with things, or maybe they're struggling with sleep issues or anxiety. So do you have an email or even phone?
I do. It's nativeceuticalstampa@gmail.com. And then just to piggyback off of that, CBD has been researched and proven to help with PTSD issues, depression, stress, anxiety, chronic pain, and it also helps a lot with focus and any type of neurological issue in the body. So it covers a multitude of things that we as humans just commonly suffer from, and a lot of those things never really get addressed with a pill. I mean, if you have PTSD, you might be angry one day and depressed another day. Well, if you tell that to a doctor, you're getting two different prescriptions.
Yeah. Wow. So this has helped alleviate you personally as well, because I know you said they were trying to prescribe so many pills from you, and it has affected you as well. You were able to wean off. And how long did that process take, just for those that are realistically considering this and wanting to go into that?
Well, if you're ever going to do something, start low and then move up. So never just go cold turkey off of all your prescriptions. I think that is the most, that is a very dangerous route to take. if you want to wean off of your prescriptions, then perhaps lower your dosage and then slowly, week by week, month by month, take it down. But never just go cold turkey, because what happens is you're supplementing your body with a chemical. And then when you stop supplementing your body, your body is no longer able to produce it because it's counting on you to be able to provide that externally. Right. So once you stop producing that chemical, well, now your body's deficient. And once you have that deficiency, then a whole bunch of other issues start happening. So you never want to just do that, but you always, for me, I started off, taking, instead of taking 2 of my pills, I took 1 of my pills. And then from there, I was able to take it and keep lowering it little by little by little to the point where now I am 100% taking natural substitutes.
Awesome. Yes. Excellent. So this is such a great testimonial and informing session for all of us. And it's good because it makes me feel safe that, I don't have to light up a blunt in order to get alleviation of, whether it's pain or if I'm having problems going to sleep or, that, I don't have to turn to that. But I can at the same time still enjoy the plant, like enjoy the benefits of what was naturally created for us in a professional, clean, safe way. So again, thank you so much for this exciting show and this exciting information. I'm going to now recap with the audience of your information so they can reach you. So if you guys are needing any information regarding CBD oils, hemp oils, whatever, reach out to this wonderful Darman actor here, Zack Zindler at Native Pharmaceuticals Tampa. That is NATIVECEUTICALS Tampa at gmail.com. Again, that's Native Pharmaceuticals Tampa at gmail.com. Would you like to also share a phone number with them if they'd like to? Okay, so you can reach him.
So my number is 910-381-8390. You can use that. I prefer email because once I start getting a bunch of calls, it's kind of difficult to just, kind of distinguish it out. But
can you repeat the number again? Just
910.
Yeah.
381.
Okay.
8390.
8?
Yeah.
8390? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Only reach him, please, professionally for if you're wanting something with the Native Pharmaceuticals, possibly an acting gig or something. But, professional, reach out, please, on the show. Thank you for respecting that boundary. But he does prefer email. So make sure that you're taking advantage of this information that we have just received here on the show today. And Zack, did you have any other tidbits that you wanted to leave for us regarding this piece of the business or in general as well?
Well, just on the business aspect, we can go about other stuff. Well, first and foremost, I just want to compliment you on your shirt. I see it. It looks really, it's like a Marpat. It's very Marine Corps-esque. So I just wanted to compliment you on that. But anyways, I also wanted to let people feel more confident in the product. So we are a third-party lab-tested company, and that means that we send all of our batches over to a laboratory, and on every single one of our products, there's little QR codes. So on that QR code, if you scan that with your phone, it actually pulls you up directly to the lab results, so you know exactly what's in every product that you're taking. So we are 100% transparent company.
Beautiful. Thank you for that reassurance and that clarity. That's awesome. I'm definitely myself. I'm going to be looking into just seeing more about this, just in general, to share out, especially share out with people in the community. Is this safe also for students? Because there are students that are on ADHD, students that are having PTSD from, test anxiety, sports, or whatever. So is there a safe dosage also for children?
Yes. So on our tinctures, there are little hash marks on the dropper.
Okay.
Now, because they are under the age of 21, I would suggest going into the THC free, unless you consult a doctor and the doctor would approve you to use a full spectrum. But the THC free will not give them any type of effect. But you should always start on a lower end. So if you're taking a gummy, a normal dosage of gummy is 10 milligrams, but ours are 25 plus. So I would suggest starting with half. And then on the little droplets for the tinctures, you start with 0.25 of a milliliter, and then you move up based off of what your dosage is. So everybody's dosage is different. Your dosage is different than my dosage. So I can't just say, take this, and this is what's supposed to happen. You have to kind of gauge it on what your body, how your body is receiving it. So if you're a student, a lot of students take Adderall. That's one thing I learned from all the different colleges and educational atmospheres that I was in. Well, what that does is it actually can affect the way your brain is wired. And most kids or students, they don't think of a long-term effect of a product. They think of, oh, I just need this. This is what's going to happen. The cause and effect, I take this, the effect is I get this. Well, the long-term effect of that is, one, Adderall is a methamphetamine, so it is meth. So you need to understand that if you are incorporating meth into your system on a constant basis, the long-term effect of that, we know what the effects of meth are to when you take it in a recreational sense. So you have to consider that, okay, well, there might be more of an addiction aspect to it as opposed to the beneficial aspect to it. You may be addicted to getting work done, but what's the consequence of that? So that's where CBG would really help a lot of students get into that type of mental clarity where they're able to focus on what they're trying to do. But it would also take away a lot of that anxiety, irritability that comes along with the Adderall. So if you were a student, I would suggest looking into possibly we have the Focus pills. If you want to take a pill like Adderall, the Focus pill is THC free. And it also gives you all that benefit of having that clarity and focus that you're looking for. So that's where I would suggest students that are looking for that type of benefit.
Wow. Well, thank you so much again, Zack, for this phenomenal informal session. And did you have any other last words of hope or inspiration for our audience?
Yes, I have a mantra or a little saying that I came up with years and years ago. I don't know if anybody else has ever said it, but this is something that I kind of live by. And that saying is, impossible dreams become impossible realities.
Huh. Oh,
So
wow.
if you don't think you can do it, then you're never going to do it. And just because somebody else says it's impossible, if you can think about it and you bring it into fruition, then that could be your reality. And that might just be impossible for that person. But for you, it could be your reality.
Wow. That's very powerful and very true. Yeah. And thank you so much again, Zack, for being on the show. It is quite the honor. I'm going to look up some more Darman videos and get inspired.
But just look at them all. Just watch them all.
Well, again, it's an honor to have you on the show, and I wish you the best with all of your endeavors. And for you guys watching this, definitely please connect with Zack. Find out more about the business with the NativeCeuticals. You can go to nativeceuticalstampa@gmail.com. Check out the website. I'm sure you can also Google it and find it there, and get a part of that, become a part of that, and continue to support Zack in his future endeavors as he continues to serve society nationwide. So with that said, guys, thanks so much for tuning in again to the Real Talk Show. I'm so excited. Again, Zack, thank you for being my guest. And you guys have an incredible night. And tonight, see ya.
Bye, guys.